Hi, it's Stephen Colbert, and I'm here to tell you about The Late Show Pod Show, which is the podcast of The Late Show with me, Stephen Colbert, and I'm here with my producer of the podcast, Becca. Hi, Becca.
Hi, Stephen.
So what do people get when they listen to The Late Show Pod Show? Let's sell this thing.
The extended moments, for sure, because we run out of time for broadcast, but we have plenty of time on the podcast.
It's kind of like being a live audience member of the show because you get things that no one else hears. Listen to The Late Show Pod Show with Stephen Colbert wherever you get your podcasts.
Today on CityCast Chicago, it's the first of the month, and that means it's time for our guide to May. What we're looking forward to, tips to survive the month, and things we're excited to eat. It's Wednesday, May 1st. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is what Chicago is talking about. Every single day, Monday through Friday, CityCast Chicago brings you the conversation about the things that matter to you. Maybe that's the latest coming out of the mayor's office. Maybe it's the restaurants and exhibits we need to see this month. Or what the hell is going on with all of them cicadas and when are they coming our way? That's why the CityCast team is here to bring you the best tips for Chicago in May. I'm here with our executive producer and leader, Simone Alisea. Welcome back to the mic, my friend.
Hey, Jacoby, how are you?
I am doing well. And we are also joined by our producer, Michelle Navarro. What's up, Michelle?
Hey, Jacoby.
I don't know if y'all agree with this, but May for me is kind of a random ass season in Chicago, right? It ain't super cold, but it's not very warm. It's often cloudy. You're going to get a whole bunch of rain in there. Most of us are kind of just waiting for summertime shy to start up. But Simone, I feel like every single time we get to this part of the year, and I can say every single time because it's been 3 years now that you and I have rung in this part of the year, and we don't always agree on when summer officially starts. For you, when is that?
I hold, and will continue to hold, and have always held, the official start of summer is Memorial Day. I don't care what the weather is like. I don't care what's going on. Culturally, the start of summer is Memorial Day, which this year is on May 27th. I just think everything else, all the stars, all the seasons, all the whatever's going on in the sky, that has nothing to do with me. Start of summer is Memorial Day.
And I have never agreed with you. I've always felt like summer can't be in May because I'm still in school. Like I'm still teaching now in late May. It can't be summer if folks are still in school. And so for me, that sort of early June period when school is starting to let out, when CPS is out, when kids are everywhere, that is when summer starts. But I'm not gonna lie. The more and more we have done this podcast together, I've started to kind of open up a little bit that definition, because what is summertime shy if we're not talking about all of the fantastic festivals and parades that's going on? In May, it got some fire festivals going on, right? Sueños now feels like the start of Chicago's major festival season. And that's taking place May 25th and May 26th, where, you know, some of the biggest Latinx artists in the world are going to be. And so, you know, festival season does move us up a bit, but I'm holding strong to that. Once summer break starts, summer is here.
Michelle, can you break this tie for us? When does summer start here? We've been at an impasse here for years.
I understand both for sure, but personally, I feel like everyone's summer is going to start differently. For me, that's the first time I go to the beach. Like the first time I go to the lake and lay out, not in a sweater, I'm like, okay, it's summer.
Yeah, we gonna make you double down though, Michelle. When is that typically happening for you? The last week of May or somewhere between week 1 and week 3 of June?
It depends on the year. There's been years in May where like it's really warm, and there's been years where it snowed. Like maybe it's a random like Tuesday in May that it gets really warm, and I'll like make myself go because of that, and then I'll make that the start of my summer. Growing up, I always like the first beach I went to at the start of the summer was Oak Street Beach, just because though I was able to like take the train and walk there. And so that was the beach me and my friends would like go to like after school if it was like really hot that day. like just get off the red line at Chicago, walk past the water tower and into the beach. And so I think the first time I go to Oak Street Beach will probably be
The start of your summer.
at the start of my summer.
I will say, to that point, the Chicago Park District starts staffing beaches with lifeguards when?
Memorial Day
weekend. Memorial Day weekend.
No, I'm contradicting myself, G. I'm gonna be out at Mole de Mayo during that Memorial Day weekend before that Monday. I'm gonna be out there in Pilsen watching the Lucha Libres get it in like I have for the last few years. But I'm still out there like, these are the last days of spring. These are the last days of spring.
Summer, that's the end of May. But let's come back to the top of the month for a holiday that I think we will probably see a lot of activity for in Chicago, and that is Cinco de Mayo. It's on a Sunday this year. Michelle, any tips for Cinco de Mayo in Chicago?
I think the number one thing everyone should know if you're celebrating to once again remember, this is not Mexican Independence Day. It's still important.
Yeah, there was a battle.
It was a Mexican victory over the Second French Empire, according
There
to
you
Wikipedia.
go. So I think everyone should participate if they love to. But also, there's some things that you need to think about because, of course, Cinco de Mayo is a drink-heavy holiday, just like St. Patrick's Day in Chicago. And so, drink responsibly. It's on a Sunday. Simone, you had a great point to look that, it's a Cubs game.
There was a Cubs home game on Cinco de Mayo, yeah.
Which could be great for you if you listening. It's like, oh, the entire neighborhood I'm gonna be in is already gonna be lit. I might as well be out there. Or it might just be a reminder to, kind of stay a little bit away, move your festivities closer to a Walgreens where you can get yourself some water and some Pedialyte afterwards.
Well, also, I think, too, the thing about the Cubs game is, plan your safe travel accordingly, right? Mm-hmm. I am someone who routinely takes the red line. I don't look up if there's a home game. And then I get to the Addison stop and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a lot, there's a lot of people. So if you are, rolling on the red line through Addison, maybe mentally prepare yourself for what might be coming.
And then also, if you are going to be celebrating, remember to, give your business, give your money, give your celebration to Mexican-owned businesses and restaurants. If you want to go on, there's going to be a bunch of really good Cinco de Mayo deals.
So my question, Michelle, is do you have any recs for Mexican-owned spots?
So my plans are going to be eat at my local Mexican spots, which is Chile Torreado, right here on 35th and Archer. They have really good Mexican food, so I'm probably just gonna eat, have lunch there or dinner there. Also, I probably will not be participating on that Sunday because I work on Monday. I think something that I will do is that Pilsen Yards, they have kind of 5 days leading up to Cinco de Mayo. And so you can celebrate before then. Specifically today, they will have neighborhood night. So they will have Drew Mitchell of 606 Records, and he's going to be playing a blend of vintage Latin soul, cumbia and salsa. And then the particular reason too why I'm going is that it's 25% off for people who live in Pilsen or who live or work in the area codes of 60608, 09, 16, or 23. I'm 60608, so I will definitely be in there with that nice little 25% discount. The food's really good there and the drinks are really good. So I totally recommend, but yeah, I mean, if you don't want to you don't have to celebrate on that Sunday. There's going to be deals kind of that weekend leading up to the weekend. So I recommend doing that. There's also, learn about Mexican-owned tequila and mezcal brands. There's so many really good quality tequila. Not only is it cool to give your money to Mexican-owned companies that make tequila because it is, that's where they make tequila, but it's also better quality and you might have either no hangover or just a really more forgiving Monday if you do get higher quality tequila. Some of those Mexican-owned tequila brands are Tequila Leyenda de Mexico, La Gritona, Reposado, Lalo Blanco, and Tequila Fortaleza Anejo. And there's so many more. And so
You put me on. I was like, this is the perfect tip for me. And if your celebration doesn't include alcohol at all, we got your back. Our newsletter editor, Sydney Madden, has put together a list of some of the places in Chicago's sober bar scene, places in Bronzeville, Humboldt Park, Andersonville. And so we'll definitely drop a link in the show notes for that as well.
This episode is brought to you by Vonage. With Vonage Video API, your developers can easily create custom video experiences tailored to your business. Enhance every conversation with live video, whether it's delivering faster tech support, improving customer service, or enabling interactive meetings and events. Unlock the true video potential of your business. Discover how at Vonage.com.
Hey, Fidelity. How can I remember to invest every month?
With the Fidelity app, you can choose a schedule and set up recurring investments in stocks and ETFs.
Oh, that sounds easier than I thought.
You got this.
Yeah, I do. Now, where did I put my keys?
You will find them where you left them.
Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
So May is also Mental Health Awareness Month. Jacoby, how are you taking care of your mental health this May?
Honestly, for me personally, the one thing that I am starting with is I'm trying to get better at saying no a little bit more. Even going into May, I was offered an opportunity to host a event tonight, and I said no. I've got a very busy May, y'all. I'm interviewing author Ariane Nettles in Hyde Park this month. We are hosting karaoke storytellers. We are hosting The Moth. I've got some Ask a Writers with the American Writers Museum. I'm hosting a gala for the Carol Robinson Learning Center. So I'm doing a lot this month. And so I'm trying to get better at just saying no, taking more time to myself. And a place that I got to experience for the first time last month that I would like to fit back into my schedule. It is very expensive. I know that. But I went to Air Ancient Baths last month.
Oh, Jacoby.
And y'all, the 15 minutes floating in that saltwater pool that they says has like a density that reminds you of the Dead Sea, like, I'm not someone who is really good at like treading water or floating. And so if I'm being honest, this is the first time in my life that I had ever just like truly floated in a pool of water. And they have speakers playing under the water. So when you let your head tilt back and your ears get in the water, you can experience the water a little bit differently. And so, yeah, just, I got a massage last month I'd like to do this month. So I've been trying to say no a little bit more and also listen to my body. It's the masseuse was like, dog, you are very tense. You're like, you need to relax. You need to take more time to yourself. And so in May, that's something I'm trying to do a little bit more of. Simone, what about you? How are you sort of prioritizing your mental health in this month?
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing, like the first thing that happens to me when I I get really stressed is I definitely withdraw. And so I sort of need to make more of an effort to reach out to my friends and family and like go out and do the social thing, even if I am feeling tired from other stuff that is going on. So for me, one thing that has really helped is I have been taking a drawing class for the past year at Artwork Studio in Edgewater.
You've been getting good, G.
I think, thank you. I think so. You can find them on my Instagram. That's at SV Alicea. It's been really fun. But what's nice about it is like, right, I have to go every single week. I'm there for 3 hours at a time. And for those 3 hours, the only thing I'm doing is I am drawing with a bunch of people and looking at other people's art and talking to them about art and not talking about literally anything else that is happening in the world or in my life. It's interesting because there's like lots of places around Chicago you can find classes like this. The Hyde Park Art Center just went to an entirely pay what you can model for its classes. And so there are definitely affordable ways to to learn how to do some art, connect with other people, and things like that. Michelle, what about you? How are you taking care of your mental health in May?
I go to this generative writing workshop called Bryant Park Poets, and we meet at the Bryant Park branch every third Sunday. Shout out my girl Paige who facilitates. She's an incredible facilitator. And it's cool. I mean, we just read poems and talk about them and what they mean to us, and then we get to write. And it's really cool to be in a space where I'm challenged, where I have to write on my feet and just be around a group of writers, which has been really relaxing, and trying to do something that helps with my mental health and like challenges me a little bit to put myself out there and to meet people and to be brave enough to read my work out loud, which is really cool.
I love that for you, Michelle. I mean, if people are looking for, certain ideas for like self-care, we did a great how to self-care on any Chicago budget earlier this year. And we all kind of put some of our activities in there, whether it's getting out in nature, whether it's something to do from a creative standpoint, a way to get out in your community. But another thing that I've been thinking about is, how every month we kind of looked at some of those like random holidays that exist, like coffee shop day or independent bookstore day. Like, I think these are really strong opportunities, because I know we always talk about how hard it is to like make friends, find community. And sometimes it requires you to be a self-starter. Like, where do I go? And I think a fun thing for people is like create your own crawl that you're interested in. You want to hit the independent bookstores in Chicago, the record stores in Chicago, the cafes, and then you might get 10, 15 places. Obviously, there are so many of each of these categories. But if you're looking for like just something to motivate you in a standpoint of finding new people, getting into new neighborhoods, go back and listen to that episode. But then just go through our catalog, and anywhere you see something like best food halls, best taco spots, go through the newsletter, best coffee shops, and use as a way to maybe get out into the city a little bit more.
You know what, Jacoby? Maybe we should design a little game for folks that anyone can use, where it's like your Chicago anything passport. So you could insert tacos, insert coffee shop, insert whatever here, and
I like that.
Take our list, check stuff off. I don't know. We'll see. I love games, so maybe it'll happen.
Now, typically on Wednesdays here on CityCast Chicago, we like to do episodes about food. Go back to April and get hungry or get thirsty. We talked food halls, we talked wines, we talked some best places to grab a vegan bite. So I want to make sure we leave y'all with some food recommendations this month. Michelle, what's something you're looking forward to eating in May?
So I'm looking forward to visiting Marina's Bistro, which is a Puerto Rican restaurant and rum bar in Sheridan Park. They have a lot of just like classic Puerto Rican dishes like mofongo, which is, mashed green plantains with garlic and salt and olive oil. Arroz con gandules, which is like my favorite rice dish. I love arroz con gandules.
I'll throw down on some arroz con gandules.
Also, they have pollo al ajillo, which is like 48-hour marinated garlic, chicken thighs stewed with onions and seasoning. And food aside, their cocktail menu and their mocktail menu looked really good, really like citrusy, which like I love fresh citrus drinks. And so I'm really excited to check them out. So I'm going to definitely make my way up north for that. What about you, Simone? Anything that's kind of on your radar in terms of food or drink?
Yeah, so I am kind of on a mission to try oyster happy hours around Chicago.
Ooh.
So here's a fun fact about me. I have very strong opinions about oysters. Extremely strong opinions about oysters. I grew up on the West Coast, and the oysters that are harvested in the cold waters of the Pacific Northwest are my favorite oysters, personally. But I'm trying stuff out. So actually tonight I'm going to be headed to Swift and Sons Tavern, which is in Wrigleyville and Lakeview. And they have an oyster happy hour. Last month, one of our guests mentioned a happy hour in Andersonville at Uve, which includes cava and oysters. Cava is like a sparkling wine that I really enjoy. Definitely want to check that out. There's a few others on my list in River North, etc. But I remember I got some oysters at the Publican in Fulton Market, and I went there specifically because at least every time I've checked there, they always have West Coast oysters on the menu. And so, but like I said, try to broaden out, try different things, and see what else Chicago has to offer. I didn't know we here in the Midwest could have such a great oyster selection, and so I'm here for it. I'm trying it out. I want to see what's out there.
For me this month, we can't finish this conversation with talking about Mother's Day. Y'all want to know how cool my mom is?
How cool is your mom?
She is installing a Murphy door on her. So she's in Calumet Heights, and basically the way the houses are there, it's kind of like half level. So you got like a main level, but then there's like a basement level, but then there's like a sub level. She's putting a Murphy door there, which essentially is like a hidden door. It'll be like a bookshelf where you have to pull a book to trigger the door to open to go into her sub level, where she's renovated it to look like a speakeasy. There's a full bar with like at least 250 liquors. There's over 100 bottles of wine. There's cigars. There's like ski shots. There's TVs and lounge chairs, the entire thing. So she's putting up a hidden bookcase to hide her speakeasy, which is, I didn't even get to the place I want to take her for Mother's Day yet.
I was going to say, is that the place you're looking forward to eating and drinking this month? To her own speakeasy?
I want to take my mom to her sub-level speakeasy. No, I want to take my mom to this restaurant that just opened over in Hyde Park back in January, and it's called Dawn AM Eatery. It is a Southern style brunch spot, and just looking at the menu, I do not know where to start. I mean, right at the top with the appetizers, they got a smoked salmon deviled egg.
Ooh, I'm behind that.
I'm already there. I love me some good deviled eggs. Chicken and cornbread French toast. Have you ever had cornbread French toast? And fried chicken thigh topped with a spiced peach compote. What? And then for the vegans, like even that looks good. Blueberry chicken and waffle, blueberry vegan waffle with fried oyster mushrooms and a blueberry compote on top. Like, I don't know. I was sold from the moment I opened it, and I really wanted to go before I got up out of the neighborhood. So it gives me an excuse to go back and to take my mom to celebrate Mother's Day.
Well, now I'm leaving this conversation hungry. So thanks for that one, Jacoby.
We find a way to do that every single Wednesday. But for anybody who is new here, make sure you check our show notes to get some of the great tips, past episodes, newsletter articles that you need to check out. I want to give another huge thank you to our executive producer, Simone Alisea.
Thanks, Jacoby.
And a huge thank you to our producer, Michelle Navarro.
Thanks, Jacoby.
Did you catch the website where you can sign up for the Hey Chicago newsletter? If you missed it, it's chicago.citycast.fm. That's also where you can find local events and read our latest articles, including even more tips for May in Chicago. And of course, we gotta leave you with some good news before we let you go. My good news, today it's supposed to be a high of 75 degrees. Does that mean it's already beach season by Michelle's definition? Maybe. Or maybe we should just take advantage before the rain returns tomorrow. But you know what else is returning tomorrow? This podcast. We'll be back in your feeds bright and early. We'll talk to you then. We can drop some links. I've been posting them on Instagram. You guys can see them, and we'll drop some links in the show notes. But no, we won't, because that's not how we do show notes anymore. Sorry. I don't know. I don't know how you're gonna find them. I'm sorry.
Just tell them where your Instagram is, Simone. What are you doing?
Oh, that's what a concept. What a concept, Jacoby.
That was perfect.